You've always had it to lead your life with awareness. So thank you so much for paying attention, and I would love to know if you have any questions. I would be willing to answer them. Yes?
So when I slow down like that,
Mm-hmm.
I just call it like a 3-minute nap. Is that good? Is that still beneficial?
Okay, all right. That's excellent, because whether I teach 4-year-olds or 94-year-olds, the number one comment I get when we lead a meditation is tiredness, right? They say when you're really paying attention, you're actually falling awake and not asleep. So if you are tired, that's really good information for you to have, because it might mean that you might be able to get like a little bit more rest, right? And at 2 o'clock in the morning, if you ever wake up, anyone here ever wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and they keep thinking and thinking? Yeah? Okay, so here's something you really need to know. Every night? Okay, all right, so you'll appreciate this, in that infants sleep 8 to 10 hours a day, okay? At night. Infants can go 8 to 10 hours without waking up. Not adults. We wake up 2 to 3 times a night. And if somebody sitting next to you is like, I don't have any problem, I sleep straight through. Well, I'm going to call you Ambien. So Ambien, if you sleep all the way through the night, notice when you wake up in the morning, before you even get out of bed, are you automatically thinking, oh, I have to meet that person today, I have to talk to that client, right? You do not know what's going to happen in the future. You do not know. Bring yourself back and say, you know what, let me just get through it moment by moment. So when you said, is it good? There's no good or bad, because we really try not to judge it. But thank you for asking. Any other questions? Yes.
So are there times of day where you suggest that meditating is more effective?
These are really wonderful questions. Is there any time of day when meditation is really helpful? So a lot of times people say to do it first thing in the morning, okay? And a lot of times people tell me, you don't understand what my house is like first thing in the morning. So I don't like to speak in specifics like that. If you have a quiet house, that's the best time. As soon as you get out of bed in the morning, right, before the coffee, before you turn that phone on, which first of all, I'm very grateful that I don't see a lot of people looking at their phones. That is really very, very rare nowadays when I speak, no matter what the situation. So yes, if you can do it first thing in the morning, that's great. I purposely am not saying how long to sit, because, when they did research, they found it should be a minimum of 8 minutes. But if you do it for 2 minutes, I'm thrilled, right? I think that, if you have a very crazy household, I know some people, they do it, on the way to work. You could just pull off to the side, of the road and do it there. There's one man on the way home from his business place, he pulls off by a park and just sits there for 10 minutes, lets go of the day, and then goes to his house. So I thought I was worth about $100, so I bought myself a Fitbit watch that actually vibrates if I don't get 250 steps in every hour. So when it vibrates, I always check in, see where I'm at, right? Am I in a past that hasn't, that's over, or a future, or am I in the present? So yes, the first thing in the morning is great, but some people would rather just go out for a walk at lunchtime, right? Yes?
I just want to add that it's a testament to you that nobody's looking at their phone.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't make me cry. There's a video camera. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes?
I know that you've been a nurse, and what I love about this is that it's all about being in the moment, and when the whole room is in the moment, everybody's focused. Mm-hmm. Have you worked at all or spoken with firefighters, police officers? No, the medical field is definitely...
Right. This is why I was so honored that Jack introduced me and invited me to speak here today, because I love to speak with all groups. And having my own business, this is my biggest challenge. I love teaching. You can tell. I have no problem. I will be here for the next 3 hours standing and teaching you. We could go into the middle of the night. My challenge is business development. I have no problem saying that out loud. So if you knew a fire department or a police department, I would love to speak with them. Have I done public programs with police detectives there? Yeah, definitely, 100%. They appreciate it because they're dealing with great stress. I'm married to a former police officer, and we're not former nurses. We're kind of like Marines. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Once a nurse, always a nurse. So yes, I know that in business you're supposed to focus down your client base, but what I do, how can I say that I would not work with this group or that group when I know that, I've worked with universities, I've worked with every single group imaginable. But thank you for asking that. Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
What got you into this?
Once again, as a nurse, I worked in pharma for 20 years. I was working at Johnson & Johnson, and I saw that every year people were getting more and more stressed out. I worked at a small company that was called Centocor that J&J bought, and our product was for people with autoimmune diseases. J&J still today makes about $2-3 billion a year off of that product that helps people with autoimmune diseases. There's over 100 autoimmune diseases, Crohn's and psoriatic arthritis, and there's diabetes. There's a lot of illnesses out there, and the number one killer of people in this world is still, right now, the World Health Organization said that stress at work was a global pandemic in 2019. Little did they have any idea what was going to happen in 2020. So my whole life as a nurse, that will always be at my core. Anything I can do to decrease people's stress and to not have disease in their life, because we know the impact that stress and disease has on our business and on our personal lives as well. So, I got an email in 2019, and it said the CEO wants to see you in his office. And the very first thing I thought was, oh my God, I'm getting fired. Now, amazingly, I didn't work for this company, but that was the first thought I had. He wanted me to speak at his global sales meeting, and it was my last trip in January 2020, was in Disney World to speak at his global sales team. And, then he asked me to roll out mindfulness globally for his company. And so when everyone went into lockdown in March of 2020, I started working 7 days a week. And the program rolled out around the world. And I said to him, as a CEO, I don't understand. Marty, I said, how is it that you got this immediately? When did you understand it? And he said, Harriet, it was at that 1 hour lunch and learn. We sat around with my employees. We ate pizza. He never even introduced himself and told me he was a CEO in the room. And he said, I knew it then. He goes, this practice gave me the space to think. So I'll keep going for days. So thank you so much for having me here.
Well, I think Harriet's the only speaker ever at the chamber that if you started snoring would be a compliment. So, because I literally had a couple of snorts there, but where else but the Chamber of Commerce? So a couple of months ago we had Tricia Zita here talking about marijuana. Now it's mindfulness. We're going to have masseuse for everybody at the next luncheon. So, and then we're going to head out the following luncheon to the jacuzzi, and we'll do it in there, and we'll be all good. Thank you so much. That was heaven.